Shalom. First and foremost, call Layim, Wakabala, Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai Bashim, Rav Hakwadash. I want to say to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I just want to quote, was that First John 2 and 18, where it says, little children, it is the last time, and as you heard that anti-Messiah shall come. Even now there are many anti-Messiahs, whereby we know that it is the last time. We know we at the end of this thing, because now you got, that spirit, that growing spirit of, being anti the Messiah, being anti the word of the Most High, anti the Bible, pro Satanism, pro witchcraft, and you seeing it grow more and more in the earth. That's how you know we at the end of this thing. Prophecy gives us warning in our second Ezra, the 5th chapter, that time will come on the earth where all the people will be in great confusion. The way of truth will be hidden, and there will be no it will be no faith, left in the land. Roughly paraphrasing, faith will be barren in the earth, followed by wickedness being increased. The Lord warned us that because of lawlessness, because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and that's why you're seeing all this behavior, this Noah flood like behavior, where everybody's mindset is totally corrupted and evil. They're calling evil good and good evil, putting light for darkness and darkness for light. So you see why the Lord's going to come, with the ultimate judgment on this earth. It's too much blasphemy, it's too much pride. All right, so now you got these devils coming out of the woodwork, and they're basically gaslighting the word of the Most High, because they have an issue, down there in Florida, where they're trying to ban these books that's perverting the minds of children, that's grooming the children, for sexual perverseness. Um, a lot of wickedness that the left, the liberals are trying to, teach to the new generation. So now they're, using that logic against the Republicans, the conservatives that actually believe in the Bible, and they're basically saying, well, if you're gonna, ban, Satanism and books that groom children to become sexually immoral, then why don't you ban the Bible? Because the Bible teaches rape, it teaches slavery, it teaches this, it teaches that. So basically, they're trying to demonize the word of the Most High, and that me, as I speak as a man, but the audacity of these devils. You didn't have an issue with the Bible when your ancestors, used our book and went and colonized the whole world with it. All right. You're in position that you're in today because of what your forefathers did. And they used Christianity. They used their interpretation of the Bible that completely manipulated the understanding and the meaning of the scriptures to their benefit. And they used it to enslave and colonize the whole world. Now you want to speak against the Bible. You're a bunch of hypocrites, but yet, they're trying to throw the hypocrisy card on, the Florida conservatives, which, we're conservative, but we're not conservative politically. We do not give two shits about the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. All right, and the Bible was never for you. It was never for you, Edomites. It was not for you to touch, and that's why you're gonna pay dearly after you pick the Bible up. It tells us in Psalms the 50th chapter and the 16th verse unto the wicked, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Let's get that real quick. Psalms 50, verse 16, it says, but unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and casteth my words behind thee. All right? You hid behind the Bible, but when it comes down to implementing the laws, statutes, and judgments of the Bible, when you know, uh, rule, you cast the words behind you. You don't follow the instruction. You set up your own moral codes. You set up your own laws. And a lot of them contradict the Bible, the laws contained in the Bible. So you devils are going to pay, man. All right, now let me prove real quick that this Bible was never meant for anyone else. It was only meant to be given to the nation of Israel, because that's who the word was given to. All right, let's get Psalms 147 and 19 verse 20. And it says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. All right, so this word was given unto the nation of Israel. All right, and it was given unto us to establish order, all right, righteousness, all right, moral principles, virtue, judgment, something that you devils don't understand, because you're the sons of the wicked. You're known as the man of sin, the man of lawlessness. That's why everything goes within your society. So of course you would be adverse. Of course you would be contrary to the righteous ways of the Most High. So let's listen to this little clip right here. So he's gonna explain the reason behind why they want to ban the Bible in Florida. And the guy who the activist who came up with that, who's actually protesting the Bible, he's an atheist. And we know the scriptures say the fool saith in his heart that there is no God. All right. So let's listen to this.
Very clever activist in the state of Florida by the name of Chaz Stevens has actually filed a complaint with his county, arguing that the Bible should not be taught in schools, shouldn't even be allowed in schools, of course, because it's just too darn woke under the standards that Florida Republicans have now put in place in the state. So far, the state has banned over 200 books from our school systems here in the state of Florida because, they're too woke. It's part of their Stop Woke Act is what it's called. You can't talk about gender issues. You can't talk about sexuality. You can't talk about sex. You can't talk about...
Yeah, in other words, this new woke agenda is pretty much new era Luciferian ideologies. It's basically about, rebelling against the natural order of the Most High. And that's what they want to teach the children. All right. That, there is no male and female. The Most High made a mistake. We need to see past that natural dynamic. All right. We need to get rid of sexism. All right. Meanwhile, men are actually proven that that concept and that ideology is straight confusion. All right. People identifying as something that they're not, and you gotta accept it. You gotta allow people to impose their warped reality upon you, and you gotta accept it. So that's what they're trying to defend while trying to gaslight the Bible. Yeah, man, this is the devil for you, man. Satan, you on the ropes, man. All right, Satan is clearly on the ropes because the vibration from the right hand of the Lord is countering this devil, man. All right, we're pushing the righteous vibration in the earth. All right, it can't be one-sided. All right, the Lord said, "Who will stand up for me against the evildoers? Who shall rise up for me against the workers of iniquity?" So it's not going to be one-sided, man. And these devils are speaking evil of something that they don't even understand. So listen to him describe what's contained in the Bible, and he's going to describe it as if it's something that the Bible is actually condoning versus giving you the instruction on how to govern and how to judge certain scenarios if certain things were to occur. We have moral laws, we have civil laws, okay? We have ceremonial laws. There's different laws in the scriptures. And then you have history, a lot of documented history that actually happened. And it's also a book of prophecies. And we're living in a time of prophecy right now as we speak. They don't even realize that they're fulfilling prophecy because it did say in the scriptures that faith will be barren in the last days. No, basically, will be a lot of unbelievers. All right, I quoted it earlier, 2nd Ezra 5, 1 and 2. All right, and there's gonna in other scriptures, people are not gonna believe in these last days. So let's continue. Let's listen to this guy.
Issues. You can't talk about sexuality. You can't talk about sex. You can't talk about race. You can't talk about slavery. And do you know where you can find all of those things uncensored? The Bible. And that is exactly what Stevens is arguing in his complaint. It's got bestiality. It's got slavery.
Yep. And guess what? The Bible tells you not to do those things. But you Edomites being the sons of the wicked, you're contrary to the laws of the Most High. So we expect you to complain. He mentioned bestiality. Let's see what the Bible says about bestiality. Let's go to Deuteronomy 22. At least if you allow the children to read and see that these laws in the Bible are actually moral laws, they would actually prevent animals from being broken into. All right, this is Deuteronomy 22. What up, did I? Actually, Salakia, Leviticus 20 and verse 15. It says, Leviticus 20 verse 15. It says, "And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them." So this is what our law says regarding bestiality. That if you do this thing is abominable, very detestable, and it's commanded that your license to be put out. Because not only did you defile your soul and your body, you defiled the animal. The animal is defiled, and you're defiled. That's total corruption, very unclean, sexually immoral. So we have laws against that. But these devils will make a complaint that this is in the Bible. He ain't gonna go into that. I think there's another precept. Leviticus 18 and 24. see. Leviticus 18 and 23, it says, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith, neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not yourselves in any of these things, for in all these nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. And this is what the Hamites were doing. Those Egyptians and those Canaanites, they was into that. All right. We were to remain separate. This is what separated us from the rest of the world. We didn't do the abominable things that these nations did. All right. That's what it means to be holy. It means to be separate. We have to carry ourselves with purity. But godless nations like Edom, they wouldn't understand that. But let's continue. Hold on, let me bring it back some.
It's got slavery. It's got the repercussions of slavery. It's got
Yep, exactly. We went into that. Revelation 13, 9, and 10. We went into that. All right, and of course, the Most High allowed us to go into the slavery because that was part of the condition of if we broke his agreement, the covenant, that he will allow these nations to occupy our land and carry us out of our land and lead us captive. And we would become bondmen, bondwomen. We would serve these nations, serve their gods, their idols, and that happened. All throughout history has happened. So we're not going to deal with reality. So it is what it is. But hey, the Lord is fair. He's a just power, man. He that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. All right, that's balance. That's righteous. See, they're trying to gaslight as if they're more righteous than the Most High. Let me get Job 4 and 17. It says, shall mortal man be more just than the Most High? Shall a man be more pure than his Maker? Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. How much less in them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. All right, you're basically you're nothing. You're counted less than nothing and vanity to the Most High. You're counted less than the dust of the balance. So you got some freaking nerve trying to gaslight and question the Most High in his righteousness. And you devils are the opposite. Let me get Sirach 18. See, these nations is because the Most High ain't stepped all the way down yet. He ain't showed his hand yet. I mean, he's sending judgments down, but these people are not in fear. So they're still, you know, proud enough to question his majesty. That's why in due time the Lord's going to get his just due respect, man. All right? Everybody's going to bow to him. Nobody's going to question nothing, man. You're going to bow to him. This is a Sirach 18 and 1. It says, he that liveth forever have created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he. He's righteous. How could you question him? Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. To whom have he given power to declare his works? And who shall find out his noble acts? Who shall number the strength of his majesty, and who shall also tell out his mercies? As for the wondrous works of the Lord, there may nothing be taken from them, neither may anything be put unto them. Neither can the ground of them be found out. When a man have done, then he beginneth, and when he leaveth off, then he shall be doubtful. What is man? Whereto serveth he? What is his good and what is his evil? All right, you're nothing, man. All right, the Lord set the boundary for all things that consist. All right, righteousness, wickedness, good, evil. All right, the Lord set the two one against another, man. All right. So let's go back.
Incest. It's got all of
And then he mentions incest. Let's go to what the law says. Does it condone incest or does it speak against it? And like I mentioned, we established this word is to the children of Israel. We're not supposed to be like you other nations, man. Our people are supposed to get into this. They're supposed to be taught this. You're the wicked. You're the dishonorable seed. All right. This is Leviticus 18, and I'll start at 1. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein you dwelt, shall you not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall you not do. Neither shall you walk in their ordinances. You shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances, to walk therein. I am the Lord your power. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord." That's going into incest. That's prohibited. That's unclean. And yes, you had certain incidences occur in the scriptures where it happened. And guess what? Judgment proceeded after, because that's not lawful. That's unclean. Okay? You're not supposed to live with your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, all right? Your aunties. So, I can read through it, but you already know these laws. And we know that is off. And things like this happens. There's reality, it happens, man. A lot of people get caught up in the flesh. And basically they got spirits on them, unclean spirits. So they're given over to a reprobate mind because they reject the Most High in their mind. Okay, and once that lust is consumed, it brings forth sin, and when a sin is practiced, it brings forth death. We have penalties, we have judgments. The reason why there's so much disorder in the earth is because the law is slacked. But that's because the man of sin is in power. So that's why things are out of order. You want to groom children, you know, to be all right with sexual, basically grooming them in sexuality, but you're telling them that the Bible is just as toxic. But that's how the serpent. That's exactly how the serpent would move. All right. It's the reason why so much sin is in the earth now. Habakkuk 1 verse 4 says, "Therefore the law is slack and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth." All right, and that's what happens, man. But let's continue to listen to a little more.
all of these horrible things that you have literally, in the state of Florida, banned other books for containing. But this book, the Bible, you got no problem with that. Kids can learn some awful things from that book. Let me read this from Stevens.
So telling them that certain abominable things are wrong and is to be penalized, basically in instructing them in moral principles, that's awful. But see, that's coming from their standpoint because they're the adversary. Okay, they, naturally they're gonna oppose what's right. It would be one thing if you're teaching the children that it's all right to do those things, but the Bible completely prohibits it. It teaches against it. But the way they're presenting the Bible is as if it's the worst thing ever. But that's the spirit of anti-Messiah in the earth. And guess what? You got a lot of wicked Israelites that hold the same view. There's a lot of niggas out there that would not. Hey, they be all right with this. You know, they would have no problem with what he's saying, and they would be all for it. Yeah, get rid of the Bible because our people they hate instruction. Now, the Bible is very profitable for you, especially if you're an Israelite. Let's get was that Romans 3:1, and it says, "What advantage then have the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of the Most High. Or you were given statutes and judgments, righteous laws, man. That if you was to, hold fast to them and walk in them, that you would live, you would be successful, you would prosper, you would be blessed. But our people didn't think it was profitable to serve the Most High, so they went after their own devices, whatever pleased them, just like they're doing today. They're whatever pleases them, whatever is right in their own sight, they're following after it. And there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And most of our people, they're just following after the damn serpent. And they wonder why they're a cursed nation. All right. That's why right now, this word is amongst the elect. The election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So our people not even worthy of the oracle of the Most High. Because they're gonna do is reject it. But we prophesied anyway, whether they hear it or whether they forbear. All right. And they're not going to tell you that there's good news contained in the Bible too. That the people that's been broken down, the people that's been downtrodden, that have been called niggas and spicks and wetbacks and tomahawks and, bywords and proverbs, suffered discrimination, all right, oppression, that suffered brutality. Those same people are gonna rule. They're gonna inherit the earth. They're gonna be exalted. They're gonna be made righteous. Those are the good news, and that's pertaining to our people. This has no concern for the rest of you, man. So hey, we have no problem if you ban the Bible in the schools. It ain't meant for you heathen anyway. And then eventually you're gonna ban the Bible throughout society, and it's nothing new under the sun because they did it. They tried to do it during the Greeks. All right, trying to get rid of our customs. And you had Haman going back to the Medo-Persian Empire while we celebrate the Feast of Purim, because he put it out there to the King Ahasuerus that we were a malicious people with diverse laws that are contrary to the king, and he tried to gaslight us like we were living wickedly and we're a threat. So it is what it is, man. But this truth is going to prevail because you can't do nothing against the truth before it. All right, verse 3 it says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid, yet let the Most High be true, or meaning his word, but every man a liar. As it is written, thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. And we're not moved by people's incredulity. It says that in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Because we know that faith is gonna be bearing in the earth. People are not gonna believe. They're gonna talk shit. They're gonna question the validity of the scriptures. People are gonna try to virtue signal and act like they're more moral and more righteous and just than the Most High and His righteousness. This is why all you people are being preserved to the second death. All right, the lake of fire, man. It's gonna be beautiful to watch the judgment, man. All these people they're gonna swallow their words, especially Esau. And let me get real quick. This is Proverbs 13 and 13. It says, "Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded." All right. So you despise the instructions of this book, judgment's coming for you. All right. But he that fear and tremble at his word, at his commandment, is going to be rewarded. And that's his elect. We're going to hear this word and we're gonna tremble, man. Our whole duty is to fear the Most High and keep His commandments, because He's going to judge us according to what's written out of this book anyway. All right, everybody must appear before the judgment seat. And guess what? You devils, your name is definitely not written in the book of life. Go to Revelation, was it 20? Yeah, Revelation 20 and verse 12, and it says, "And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the power, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works." The Lord got a reward for everybody, man. All right. If you was wicked, you're gonna be resurrected into condemnation. And that's talking about our people. Yeah, if you're of the righteous, you're gonna be resurrected unto everlasting life. And Esau, he's part of that dead. He's not gonna have no throne. He's gonna be brought to naught. So his whole society, his whole kingdom is gonna be judged. It says, "And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire." This is the second death. So you can speak evil of the book, but you're gonna be judged by that same book. All right, all your rape, all your incest, all your bestiality that you did on this soil, even made it law in certain places, man. All right. So I'm sure brothers gonna like the comment board up, but I had to do a response to it. All right, these devils got their freaking nerve, man. All right, this word is gonna be in us, and this is the same word that's gonna actually it's gonna rule you. All right, let's get that in Isaiah 2. You're gonna be governed and ruled by this word. Isaiah 2 verse 1, it says, "The word of Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, All right, the government upon the Lord's shoulder. All right, the Lord has his government, his summit. It's like these nations have, they have their summits, and the leaders of the representatives of these nations come to these meetings. That's basically like a government summit. Well, the Lord has his summit, and that's his body of men, which are the elect. All right. And we're going to be stationed in Jerusalem. That's going to be the headquarters. That's the capital, the city of the Lord. It says, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. And you're going to have no choice. You're going to have no choice because your kingdom is going to be finished. All right. And we're going to be in power. It says, and we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. That's what he's coming to do. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So ain't gonna be any more wars. So because this devil gonna be put down. He's not gonna be the blessing that he had, which was the sword, is gonna be taken out of his hand because it's gonna be used against him. He's gonna destroy himself, and there's gonna be no more need for it. All right. And there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth where it dwells righteousness. Is going to be a new standard in the earth. Look at the condition of the world now, because the higher ups, the powers that be, that are in control, the dominant class of people that are ruling, they ruled and destroyed the planet because they didn't uphold the laws of the Bible. That's why the earth is in suffering. The whole earth languished and fadeth away, man. Is defiled under the inhabitants thereof because they changed the laws. They changed the the everlasting covenant. They changed the ordinances. Everything is out of order. That's why animals are dying off. That's why the people are mentally twisted and insane, out of their head. No, you devils, you got the freaking nerve, man. So anyway, I don't want to keep rambling, but I just have to make a lesson, man. All right, we're gonna finally get to see righteousness reign on the planet as it was intended. All right, but the Lord had to raise you devils up to show us how not to be. It was a lesson taught and a lesson learned. All right, you're the reason why death came into the world. So I'm gonna end it right there. Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.